All right, so this is Tight Stops. Welcome for the YouTube video. Subscribers, just like, share your comments, subscribe to the channel. And tonight I'm going to talk about strat entries, reversals, and then a little bit on pivots because I got a lot of questions on pivots. I'll have to do another in-depth video on that. But the first thing I'm going to talk about is scalping the strat, or scalping with the strat. And I'm just going to use the 5-minute candles, for example. And I've got SPY pulled up here, and we can just pull up any random stock, but SPY's already on my screen. So basically with me, and what I tell my new people in my room, and especially if you've ever been with Rob, we just tell people, just don't trade within the first 30 minutes of the day. There's too much volatility, too much going on. Small accounts, it's just not a good idea. So, but for some of us that have been around a while and who might be on the stream, I'm going to talk about scalping, maybe the entry, and I'm going to use here at the example. One thing I like to do is I like to let that first candle form. I kind of like to see, I want to see the direction they're opening up with. And then, depending on some other factors, volume and some other things, VWAP, I'm not going to get into that tonight, in the cloud and all that stuff. But so basically, on a scalp scenario, I don't like doing continuations too much. On the open, it might be a little different, but so you have this 3 candles formed going off of the last candle in the pre-market. So we got a 3. If we were to take the entry, you let this candle completely close, and then you enter when this candle breaks the top of that first candle. Now, obviously, this didn't work out too well. It went up, came back in. Depending on your strategy, stops and all that good stuff, I mean, that's another session in itself. Some people will do 50% if it's a bigger candle. If it's like Google or Tesla, they might do 25% of the candle on the stop on these big candles. But so then we can wait for this next candle to go. We got pretty much stopped out on this one. So now we have a 2. We have a 2-2 reversal. So if I was scalping this, I would play the break of the bottom of the 2 entry right here. And, whoever just joined, please mute your mic. Thank you. And if I play this entry right here, remember we're just talking scalping here, so we got a great entry here. This thing pukes in. Depending on your strategy, if you're going for 10, 20%, if you're an option trader, it came up and tried to reclaim above VWAP. You might have got shook out if you're just scalping, but that's a great entry for a nice little scalp down for SPY. So if you stayed in, you could have got in, rode this down, took it up a little more. It started to come up, and then you could take some more profits, and then it just chopped around, as we know, for a while. So that's a basic just scalping strategy of the strat. Now, the other thing we can talk about is continuations, or reversals. So right here we have a 2 on the 5-minute. We have a 1 inside candle. So we have our 2, 1, 2 reversal off of this candle here. 2, 1, 2. Our entry is the top of this 1 candle right here. And then we would have got up and played this up for a scalp if we're scalping for a few minutes, or you could have had a break-even stop. If you're trying to scalp for a bigger play, it all depends on the strategy. I'm not getting into strategies today. So there's our 2-1-2 reversal on a scalping strategy on the 5-minute candle, and then we get a 2 down. 2. I mean, we really don't have any entries here. and then we get a 2 up, 2 down reversal. Your entry would be right here at the bottom of the 2, short it down to there. And I know you guys are sitting there. I'm just randomly picked out Friday's SPY chart, which was a horrible day to trade. The morning was horrible to trade. So, but this is a scalping strategy. If you want to scalp 5-minute candles, you just keep playing these breaks of the 2s, or you try to find another reversal. So let's see if we can find like another inside candle on a 5. So here we go. We get an outside bar, the 3 right here, goes outside the 2. Then we get the 1. So we get our inside candle. So now we're waiting for that 1 to break. We play right here at the low, our entry, and then we get the 3-1-2 reversal to the downside. So another quick scalp there. So that's all I'm gonna talk about really on scalping. I'm not personally a big scalper, but I just wanted to go over scalping with the strat. The next thing we're going to go to is the 15s. And this is kind of where you want to, this is kind of my bread and butter off the 15s, where I'm trying to look for a longer term play for, you know, a 15-minute play or hopefully a 30-minute play if it's going the right direction. Let's see here. I'm trying to find a good entry, and this is another reason why you want to go out to a longer time frame when you're in a choppy time like we were Friday morning. We just go out to the bigger candles, and it's just easier to find an entry, so we're not getting chopped around scalping off the 5-minute. But some people like scalping the 5. I mean, I know guys that'll sit and scalp all day long, and they'll do 100 trades a day. So it just all comes down to your strategy. So right here you got a 2 up on the 15. We get our inside candle, and then we would play the break right here of this 1 at the top of the 1, and this would have been a nice play off this 15-minute candle right here, all the way up until you start getting sideways, and you can, depending on your strategy, we're getting towards the end of the day, probably a good idea to take your profits off that one, and you know, that would have been a nice let's see, entry around 458.26, probably got out about here 460.38. You know, that's almost a $2 move on SPY. That's a nice move on some contracts. Real nice move on some contracts just off the 15. Let's find a reversal to the downside. Here we go. Here's our 3 on the 15. I don't care if it's doji or not. It's an outside candle. We get our 3, 1. We play the bottom of the 1 as soon as this candle breaks. Depending on which way it's going, this is going to the downside. Entry's the bottom of the 1, and then we can ride this thing down until it starts going sideways and decide to take our profit. So that's the 15-minute strategy, playing inside bars off the 3s, inside bars off the 2s. Let me see if I can find a good 2-2 reversal. There probably wasn't anything very good Friday for that on SPY on the 15s. So I'm going to switch now to a 30-minute chart. And here we go. Let's go to Friday. And as you keep going out to the larger time frames, and this is why Rob, especially with new stratters, we want you to stick to the 30-minute charts, the 30-minute candles, because you would have stayed out of all this BS. I mean, with all these wicks on the 30s, there's no way I'm playing this crap. No freaking way on the 30-minute. Except right here, you got a 2, 1, 1, 2. There's your entry right there at the bottom of the 1. And then you could have wrote it down for some really nice profit. It would have gone from 475.33 to 474.95. Actually, that's only about 40 cents, so wouldn't have been that great. Whoever's on the mic, please mute yourself. And then we get the nice 2-2 reversal here on the 30. So you get your reversal, the 2, wait for the 2 to finish. The 3, this next 2 up comes, your entry's the top of that 2. And then this would have been the nice ride up on the 30-minute. And then you start seeing a doji on the 30. And you're just getting your profits. Once you start seeing weak candles like this, and it comes up here on this third candle, and then it starts coming in, you just want to take your profits and get the hell out.
I didn't understand what that you played a freeway out.
Hold on a second, guys. I gotta mute somebody. Okay, sorry. And where were we? So that's the 5, 15, and 30-minute strategy with the strat. Just playing your inside bars, or playing your 2-2 reversals right here. And you can do this, all day long. If you come out from work after lunch and you want to try to find an afternoon run, you can find these all day on the 30s. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is magnitude pivots. Basically, we call it magnitude in the strat, pivots in the TA world. Let me go back to the 5-minute and talk about playing these off the pivots and what your targets are. So basically, if we were to play when I was talking earlier when we first started, play this 2-2 continuation, we don't really have a pivot yet on the intraday chart on the 5-minute. So what I want to look at is to the downside. So we play this break here, this two, and then we enter right here. Our first target is the bottom of that 5-minute. That's our pivot point. That's our magnitude on that scalp. Let me draw this real quick. Oops. So right here, if we took this 2 down, we can set the target here on this first 5-minute candle as our magnitude. And if you would have held on long enough, it eventually hit it. But in a scalping strategy, I would have taken my profits when I started seeing this inside candle start forming. So that would have been my first magnitude. And then as we keep going on in the day, if we would have taken this 2 right here, this 2-2 reversal at the bottom of this 2, my target would have been right there on a scalp. That would have been my first target. And sure enough, it went right there and came right back and retested it. And then this doji wiki candle did break through it. So then our next target would be here. Can you guys please mute yourself when you join the room? I'm gonna have to just start automatically muting this stuff. Let's see. So that's kind of the strategy on magnitude on a scalping strategy. You want to try to find the previous candles, and that would be your scalping strategy magnitude. And it's going to work the same way as you keep moving up into the time frames. If you're playing a 15-minute scalp, let's see. I'm going to go to the 15. Man, I don't know if a lot of people are joining or what, or just people coming in and out. It's like so annoying. Let's say we played this 2, 1, 2 reversal, our entries there. Our first target's that previous 15, our second target's that 15, and our third target's that 15, and then our fourth target is that 15. And see how this 2, 1, 2 entry here, it went down, took out that target, took out that target, took out that target, and it tested low a day target, and then reversed. So if you're playing that 15-minute strategy, I like to mark my previous 15-minute candles. Let's see, if we go to the 30, we're going to be the same thing. We got our 2 double inside entries right there. First target's here, second target's here. 2, 1, 1, 2. It broke through the first target, and then it got close to testing the second target and reversed. And then as we play this 2, 2 reversal right here, you want to clear out the reversal. I don't like having a bunch of crap on my chart. My entry is here. My first target is right here. Second target's here. Third target's here. We had a PMG on the 15 here. And then our fourth target would be here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 targets. It never got anywhere near high day. But you can see it broke through that one, broke through that one, broke through that one, broke through that one. And then once you start coming, this is where why pivots are so important in magnitude. Because once you start coming back into a previous pivot, the play is most likely done, unless you're looking to try to catch a all-day banger or something. So it came back into it broke this pivot and then came back in below the pivot. It's time to start thinking about taking profits right there. Hold on a second, guys. I gotta mute this shit. Sorry. Okay, so Nunsmar, when you say scalp, are you jumping into the closet option contract once the actual signatures? I mean, I'm jumping into. If I'm scalping, it depends on the day of the week. This is a whole other video for options and target and what strikes we're taking. If I'm playing a zero DTE day on SPY, I'm taking the closest strike to in the money as I can, or I'm taking one strike in the money. So yeah, we'll go over that some other time. So typically when scalping, you're taking in the money as they tend to have highest delta, and you're not holding, so no worries about theta. Yeah, it depends. Once again, it comes back to the strategy. Are we scalping for a few minutes? Are we trying to hit a home run? On zero DTA contracts, you can't mess around. You got to take your money and run. Now, let's say tomorrow I buy Tesla or Facebook. I'm buying Friday's contracts. I'm not worried about theta tomorrow, and I'll buy all the money, And see that it comes back to, once again, a whole other video series on options. But yeah, tomorrow on Tesla, let's say it's at $1,000. I'm just guessing. I might buy the 1080s because I'm not worried about theta. It depends on what the open interest is and the volume is too. Let's see. So, Rajneil, it depends on the strategy. If you have a small account and you're a new trader, I wouldn't be scalping. You don't have enough plays in your arsenal every day. You're going to run out of money for the day. I would be looking at 30-minute candles. I wouldn't be looking to scalp. So, the only reason I brought up scalping is because I know there's probably a lot of people on here that do scalp. So I'm just kind of covering all the bases on that. But yeah, new traders and small accounts, I wouldn't scalp. I would be sticking to 30-minute candles. Rickster, once again, if I'm a new trader, I don't even play the open. I mean, I personally play the open, but I've been trading a long time, and I can get in and out of stuff and have enough buying power. I don't have to worry about it. But for small accounts, wait for that first 30 minutes for the day to shake out. Especially tomorrow, guys. There's even for me tomorrow morning. I'm not playing anything at open. There's no freaking way. I mean, it's the new day, new week, new month, new year, new quarter. I mean, yeah, it'd be crazy for even me to take anything. If you look at the 60-minute to trade, I would use the 30-minute for potential early entry. Yeah, I mean, 30s is what I would play. I mean, 60s. If you're trying, the 60s are good if you're, especially if we're in a good bull or bear trend, and we actually have some trend in the market, which we haven't had for like a month. Yeah, I mean, I could play I play the 60s because I'm looking, because me personally, I'm looking to hit 50, 100% contracts. I mean, I'm trying to hit some bangers, but they just don't come right now. They're just not. It's just not happening. The market's not there yet. But yeah, John, new traders stick to the 30-minute candles. I mean, I'll say it over and over and over again, for sure. All right. So what else do I want to talk about today? Entry reversals. So I'll talk about daily entries now. Let's see. Go out to my daily chart and close this out. And here we go. So we'll just start with the futures for tomorrow, guys. So right now, going into the first day of the year tomorrow, on the daily, we're on a 3-2 continuation to the downside. So what you can do tomorrow, I'm not telling anybody what to do, but as soon as it breaks below Friday's low, you can take SPY short, and it's a pretty aggressive target, but your first target would be, let me close this out, I gotta clear all these targets, pivots. Let's see, your first target would be the bottom of that 2 candle, 472.01. So we just basically would have a 3-2-2 continuation. And then tomorrow, if we get a 2-2 reversal, I gotta mute somebody. Sorry, I'll get that fixed next time. I'm just gonna have to mute everybody. So tomorrow, if we get a 2-2 reversal, you'd play the top of this 2, and your first target would be basically 479 all-time highs. And this is the problem we're having right now, guys. And I don't know what's gonna happen next year. Shoot, we could have a correction. I don't know. We got to play the charts, but this is the problem we're gonna have here probably this week. If SPY does reverse tomorrow, it's just gonna be really hard to break through this all-time high. I'm not saying it can't happen tomorrow or the next day. It's just gonna be really, really tough. Eventually it'll happen if we get in a nice bull trend. It'll really take off. I mean, I got some of the people that predict this crap. I don't predict anything, are calling for SPY to be $500 a share by the end of March. So we'll see. Like I said, you got to play the charts. So next I'll do is I'm going to go to the weekly. So SPY's a 2-2 continuation week, but this is a pretty weak weekly candle. It went to all-time highs and then came back in. So we won't be in a hard bull trend until this coming year, until SPY breaks 479. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. And then if you go out to the monthly, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be 479 because last week the all-time high was 479, but we'll go to the monthly anyway. we're in a 3-2-2 continuation, or 3-2-3 continuation. So once again, if we're going to get in a bull market in January, we have to break 479. That's just kind of a macro perspective. And if we go out to QQQ, on the monthly, Q's all-time high is 40871. Once again, for Q's to get bullish in January, it's going to have to break 40458, and then your first target is 40871. And if you want to get really bullish in January, it's got to break 40871. So now I'll go back to the daily, and we'll look at this as a macro perspective. Close this out. Right now, Qs are weaker than SPY. 2-2-2-2 continuation to the downside. Tomorrow, you could enter at 397.34. Below 397.34, you're short. Your first target would be 394.14. And then if it wants to reverse to the upside, you would look to take it at 401.06. 401.07 basically would be that your entry for the 2-2 reversal to the upside. And then your first target's going to be, what is that, around 403.69. So that's your daily pivots. And we can go back down to the, let me leave that open. And then we can look at the hourly chart tomorrow when it opens. Like I said, wait for the first 30 minutes to figure out what it wants to do in the morning. If it wants to run, you can look for a 2-2 continuation. If it wants to keep puking, you could look for a 2-2 continuation to the downside. We just don't know, and that's why I'm not playing anything at the open tomorrow. There's no way. So that's just kind of the basics of your entries, your reversals, and pivots on the scalping, pivots on the 15, pivots on the 30, and pivots on the 60. So if we look at the 60 minutes to trade, I would use the 30 minutes to trade. Oh, I saw that. So with respect to entries, what time frame candle close would you use? So you always enter at the, it doesn't matter if it's a wick. Here, let me show you a Richter on, let me blow this up again for you. As soon as this bottom of this wick is broken, that's your entry. And then as soon as it breaks the top of this wick, that's your entry to the upside. And then you got your pivots, your magnitude, your target, whatever 6 names you want to call it. Around 403.57 is your target to the upside. And then your downside target is 394.14. So I hope that makes sense. Anybody else? So go ahead, guys. If you want to jump on the mic, go ahead. If you have a question, feel free. Don't be shy. I don't bite. I never pick on anybody. There's no stupid question.
Yeah, sorry. Hey, stops. Thanks. I just want to clarify this Richter again. So basically, you're saying when the stock, like let's say even 1 minute, 30 seconds, whatever time frame, when you see that stock go and pass the specific price points that the high or the low of that candle, then we enter. Is the
1 penny above, 1 penny above or below. That's our signal to enter, and that's what's so kind of cool about the strat and why people are kind of flocking to it, because we just kind of simplify things. So if we play tomorrow, if I play the break at 401.06 on QQQ, and it goes to 401.20, and then comes right back down below 401.06, I'll just cut, and I'm done, and I'll wait for another reentry. Because you don't, technically, it's no guarantee that QQQ is going to go to 403.57, but, that's why we like in the strat world. That's why we teach these entries, because you enter right at the break, and then because you entered so dang early, if it either goes or it doesn't, and if it doesn't go, you just cut your loss for a small loss instead of
Got
holding
it.
it. Yeah. Is that
Thank you.
cool?
And do you scale in like position sizing? Like let's say, it breaks it and then comes back with the retest, and then and if you see it go back up, then do you just re-add? Like for example, I guess this is more of a scalping question, right? Like usually when I scalp, I would look at the 2 to 5 minute candle. I break, I enter. If it goes above my break even, I set my stop loss up, and then I scale out. And then if it breaks and or it comes back down to retest that level again, do you just go back in, or like what would your strategy be looking like?
Well, if it goes back and retest your entry, and goes below it, I would close my whole position, and then, but if you catch a nice break to the downside here on Q's on the 5, um, you would look to add, if you're good and if you're in profit pretty good, you would look at, I like to add on inside candles.
Got it.
So, because that's indecision, but I can also get a better contract price on an inside candle that's going against me a little bit. And then if it just keeps going and starts going back up even more, you just have to close out your whole position, all of it, your add and your entry. Now, there's different, so anybody that's listening to me, there's different theories and opinions on what people do. So for small accounts, if you're playing options, depending on the stock, if you're playing a higher dollar stock like the Qs, you might buy one contract. Now, if you're playing American Airlines, that's $20 a contract. You might buy 3 or 5. And then you can scale. So let's say you buy 3 contracts of American Airlines, and you're in money. You get an inside candle. You could add. You could double your position and have 6 contracts. And then once it starts coming in, you have to just take your profits and all. You have to cut your add, and you have to cut your original one, because here's the problem you have if you scale into a position. Once that add starts coming in, it's also going to start eating into your first 3 contracts. So unfortunately, you pretty much have to scale, or you pretty much have to cut everything. Now, I don't scale into anything, and this is where straters differ. I buy my max contracts, and I do not recommend this to small accounts, guys, so let me make this clear, but, for bigger accounts and once you get some experience, like for Qs or something, I'll buy 10 or 20 contracts depending on how I'm feeling, and then I'll scale out. Because of that reason I just talked about, if I buy 3 contracts, then I buy 3 more, and it starts coming in pretty good, I got to cut them all. And I lost some pretty good. I probably lost a pretty decent amount of chunk of change on those. Not only on my first 3 contracts profits, but I lost a pretty decent amount of chunk of change on those next 3 that I added on. So I'll buy 10, and if my move doesn't go, and it depends on the stock. I'm not going to talk about my stops today. We'll do another video on that. I'll cut them all if it doesn't go. Now, let's say I caught this thing early. About my 10 contracts, I start seeing this come in. I'll cut 5 of them off. I'll cut half my position, and then I start seeing it come in more. I've been around the block a little bit. I'll just cut the rest of them. So I made some really nice contract on those 5. I'm still nowhere near my entry, and I'll just cut the rest of them off this really nasty red candle. So, but we can do a whole nother video on option contracts, sizing up, sizing down. But that's been a sticking point between different straters, and me personally, I go in heavy at the beginning, and if I am in really big time money and something's ripping like it has before, I'll add. Yeah, I'll definitely add, but I do like going in heavier at the beginning and scaling out. So like I said, you're gonna get two different opinions on that. So don't yell at me because you don't like my opinion, but that's just how I play. What else you guys got for me? When you're scalping on the 5 minute, is there any look for on the higher time frames? I mean, it depends on your strategy. If I'm scalping, and the key word there is scalping, I really don't give a crap what the higher time frame is. Obviously, I'd like to have the 15, the 30, and the 60 and full time frame continuity. But if you're scalping and you start getting a reversal, you just need to get out. It's a scalp. You're in there for a couple minutes, 3 minutes, and if you catch a banger, you just got in at the right time. You just hold it. So yeah, scalping means you scalp it for a few and get out. And you guys, and for new traders that are new and don't know the difference between scalping, just when you hear the word scalp, it's a really quick play. And sometimes that quick play can turn into a big play because some stuff might catch news or you just catch a huge runner.
I'm sorry if I missed the beginning, but did you cover bonding formations a bit earlier?
No, I'm not going to do that today. That's a whole other series. I'll have to do another video. I don't want to get into that today. Because I got to go into a whole other separate detail. It's just, yeah, I'm just going to keep it to the entries, reversals, and pivots today.
Tim, so if you're using those the cues examples of your entries and targets, how do you know to get in, like, let's say the $400 calls or $405 calls?
How do I know when to get into a $400 call or a $5 call?
405. So the 400 or the next strike up, the 405 for the cues. Like, how do you know what to set you know your target? It's easier to go off of the stock, but when you're doing options, how do you know which one?
Well, so we'll just use futures for example. So tomorrow is a zero DTE day, so you can go trade the Qs tomorrow and they expire tomorrow. So January 3rd contracts. If I'm trading Qs tomorrow morning, I'm not even looking at these other strikes. I'm only looking at the 400. And then if you're in the afternoon, I would be looking at Wednesday's contracts. So what's the strategy? So this all comes back again to strategy. Am I playing the cues for 10 minutes or a half hour? If I'm playing them for 10 minutes or a half hour or so, I'm buying close to the in the money in the morning. If I start getting in the afternoon on these zero DTEs, I'm buying Wednesday's contracts. And then if I'm a couple days out and I like a play in the afternoon, I can look at the 403s because Theta's not going to kill me in the afternoon on these 403s tomorrow for Wednesday's expiration. But guys, this is a whole other learning curve for y'all if you're new to options. And I encourage you to go to my learning channel and just watch it. There's some links in there in options. And trust me, I'll be doing lots of videos on option contracts. But zero DTE days, just to keep it simple, buy in the money or right below out of the money. Now, if you go to like Tesla or Amazon on Friday, which once again, small accounts, I wish somebody would have told me this when I first started trading, but I wouldn't be playing Tesla or Amazon. But let's say we're looking at Friday morning, and we know Tesla can move $60 in freaking an hour, 2 hours. I'll look at the 1090s. So let's say Friday Tesla's at 10:65 at 10 a.m. in the morning my time, Central Time. I'll still look at the 1090s because Tesla can literally move $20 in a half hour to an hour. I mean, so it depends. Once again, got to know your contracts, got to know your stock. Whereas you go to a American Airlines on Friday. Pull up their contracts for this Friday. And I would definitely be buying the 18s. And if I'm really far from the 50-cent different strikes, I'll buy the in the monies on Friday. So, because sometimes American Airlines can only move 40, 50 cents in a day. It just doesn't move that much. I'm just giving random examples, guys.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, man. Welcome to the room, everybody. I'm gonna take a couple more questions, and I'm gonna cut this short. Not short. I've just been on here for a while. I do use other indicators, Raj. I use the Ripster Cloud and VWAP. Go to my YouTube channel. There's videos on it. And when you guys are with me live and with my other trusted traders in the morning and afternoons and stuff, we can take questions and stuff, and you'll be hearing me talk about, hey, it just went above VWAP. We just tested VWAP. Yeah, that's something I definitely am a huge VWAP guy. But I'm just trying to stick to one subject here tonight, a couple subjects. Anybody else got a question? And don't be shy, guys. Just jump on the mic. I don't bite. I go live on Discord, and we're getting so big here kind of fast. I'm actually going to probably have to, we're going to have to open up another live room. So, yeah, of course. Welcome, Betty. And guys, I hope I helped you all. I mean, I'm sometimes I do talk too fast because I just know this shit like the back of my hand. But that's why I'm just sticking around here to make sure we're clear. I'm not gonna post a watch list tonight, guys. I'm gonna look at stuff in the pre-market. I gotta see what's gonna happen tomorrow. I'm not. Like I said, I'm gonna take it very slow tomorrow. I'm not jumping into anything. And that's one thing when you learn one thing about this room and me. I'm not gonna put people in bad positions to trade. We in this room we don't just go and buy stuff to buy it. We have to see some confirmation. Yeah, that's a great idea. I'll be trading tomorrow. There's no doubt about it. But I will be really looking at my sectors. I want to see what sectors are moving in the morning. See if they're going to move money tomorrow. And we just really got to see what these futures want to do. And that's the other thing, guys, in my room, too. You're going to hear me talk about SPY, Qs, VIX, and diamonds pretty much about every 10 minutes. Because the futures dictate what the market's going to do on the overall market. I mean, you'll get some obscure runners here and there. What was it? Ran Friday morning. We caught Roblox Friday morning. That fucking thing took off when the market was kind of not doing much. Did they? They pumped Roblox Friday morning. I don't listen to that. I don't listen to the news. I won't say what news channel. I'm not getting into politics on here, but I have a news channel on in the background in my office. But I only have it on there because I'm waiting to hear if something crazy happens, like we just bombed Russia or something, or Sleepy Joe fell down the stairs again. I don't know. Who's next? Jump on the mic. And the other reason I do have news on the background is because when there's a press conference, you just really got to pay attention to what whoever's saying, whether it's, Powell's a big one, but whenever the press starts talking, you got to listen. You can do anything with the strat. Yeah, especially futures, man. Like, go watch tonight if you're bored after you get off with me. Pull up the ES chart. It's let me show you guys on Thinkorswim. It's TradingView. On TradingView, you just type in ES, but on Thinkorswim, it's slash. What is it? Forward slash ES. I'm gonna pull it up right now. Actually, I'll do a live trading session with you right now on ES. How about that? Let's see. ES. Come on. Must be. There's probably about 6 billion people on Thinkorswim right now getting ready for tomorrow. It's just really slow. I got some high-speed internet, and seems to be a waste of money. And fiber optic crap that I overpay for. Man, it's slow. Let's go to ES 5 minutes. Let's see here. So we kind of missed this move on ES, but we have a 2-2 continuation. The entry would have been right here on the 5. But this is going to get exhausted because we're running out. There's our target. Let me draw my target real quick. Make sure I'm on my price targets here. And see, it's starting to reject this target here too. So there's one. And there's one. Man, it's slow. Look at that. So there's my target on that short. And look at how it hit it to the frickin' tick. And if it would have broke through that, you got some major support right here to the downside with all this chop going on. So even if it broke through, it would have probably tested here and it'll reverse. And if it keeps going down, then we just play the chart. I'm just gonna zoom out here a little bit on ES. I want to go back. So ES broke out a little bit here at the open. Now it's starting to come back in a little bit. And now this is my VWAP strategy. It just went sideways here on VWAP. Broke below. There's your short entry here. Target there. Rejected. So now what I want to do, if I'm scalping this, I want to wait for a 2-2 reversal to the upside. So, and I can't do this on 5 minutes. Let's just go to 1 minute. It's going to be fast, but whatever. I don't want to spend a bunch of time doing this. So that 2, there was no entry because this 2 didn't get above that 2, so there's no entry. If we get a 2-2 continuation right here on this 1, my entry is right here. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. So there's the next candle starting on the 1 minute. So now we got a 2-2. You can play the break of this 2 right here. There's your entry. First target's there. And then your next target would be there. This is on a 1 minute chart, guys. It's going to go really, really fast. I don't scalp 1 minute charts. Like I said, I'm not a big scalper. But the strat is just, it's simple. There's our entry. There's our target. It's testing that. There's no volume right now in the ES to really do much. It's probably going to come. It'll come up here, test this. Might come back and test VWAP and then reverse. I mean, it's just probably going to go. ES is just going to go sideways here the rest of the night until tomorrow morning. All right. Any other questions? So there's the entry. It's still good. Now we got a 2-2 reversal to the downside. All right, guys. Well, I don't hear anybody, and I welcome everybody again to the room. If you have any questions, just type them in the main chat. Not just me, but everybody else that has experience will answer you. I do one-on-one sessions. They do cost an hourly rate, and I will do like 10 people group sessions. They will be paid sessions. They'll be cheap, just to keep it to a smaller group size. And then right now we're doing the free live, so you can learn a crap ton during the day just watching charts and listening to us. But yeah, let's kill it this year, and Thank you again. I'll talk to you all tomorrow.